Think we're live.
Yep, we're live.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Monica Young, and I'm the 2020 Youth of the Year for the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Gulf Coast. And I also currently hold the title of Mississippi State Youth of the Year. I am 14 years old, and I attend Biloxi High School in the East Biloxi unit of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Gulf Coast. We are back here today with another live stream of Elements of a Scholar Athlete. This series brings you live streams of professional athletes, trainers, and coaches to hear tips, encouragement, and strategy directly from some of the experts in the field. Scholar athletes are well-rounded young people that understand the dedication, character, and academic commitment it takes to be successful as both an athlete and as an adult. Scholar athletes are not just students who play sports, but they pour their heart and soul into everything they do. At this time, I would like to introduce you all to my moderator for today, Shabazz McClellan.
Good evening, everyone. Before I go into the interview today, I want to give a special shout out to some people that's essential to the Boys and Girls Club. They work behind the scenes. They normally don't do the moderator, but we're going to give a shout out to our program director, Devonna Guy, marketing director, Morgan Brogley, and nonetheless, our CEO of the company, Ms. Kiva Scott. Without them, none of this is possible. So we want to give them a golf clap before we started. All right, my name is Shabazz McClellan. I'm the sports director for the Boys and Girls Club. I'll be the moderator today for the live video. We have a very special guest, a friend of mine. I'm going to read a lot of accomplishments that our guest has accomplished over the years. She's a 2012 Olympic gold medalist, 2016 Olympic silver medalist, 4-time outdoor world champion in 2009, 2011, 2013, 2017. That's 4 right there. 3-time indoor world champion in 2010, 2012, and 2016. Indoor American record holder, 8-time U.S. outdoor champion, 2-time NCAA champion, 2-time IAAF Diamond League champion, and former All-American track and high school and Gatorade Player of the Year, none other than Miss Brittney Reese. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys are today?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Good. Brittney, before we start in the interview, we want to know how your family's doing over this COVID-19 pandemic. We just want to know if everybody's doing okay.
Yeah, everybody's doing great. My family's still in Gulfport, so they're all taking the necessary precautions, and I'm out here in California, and we're on total lockdown basically, but we're all doing great.
That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. All right, tell us a little about yourself and your background. What city are you from?
I'm from Gulfport, Mississippi, but I was born in California, Inglewood, which a lot of people didn't know that, but I was just raised in Gulfport, so love it.
Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. What was your childhood like? What sports did you play?
So I was really active in sports. My grandfather was the one that got me interested in sports. So I did track, obviously, basketball, ran cross country, and tried out and went to one volleyball practice and didn't like it. I was also in the band. I was in the band a little bit. So yeah, I was a pretty active kid.
That's awesome. I know you just mentioned your grandfather. So was he your role model during your childhood?
During my childhood, yeah. Him and my mom were my role models. You know, those are the people that I looked up a lot to. My mom was a single parent, you know, doing what the best she can, and just seeing how strong she was. And then, but she had my grandfather that was able to help her along the way with me and my little sister. So having them both in my life, you know, made a big impact.
That's great. I remember for people that do not know, me and Brittney graduated from Gulfport High School in 2004, and we actually went to college, same college at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. So she's more than a friend to me. We know each other. We talk. I always check on her every now and then. But it's just good to get you to talk in front of the kids. Yeah. When did you find interest in the sports? and other sports? When did you find interest of that?
So I found interest, you know, how it is when you're in the 7th grade, they pass out that paper and say, you know, you want to get your parents to sign up for track.
Yeah.
So I went out there the first day in 7th grade and we started running a lot. I was like, nah, this ain't for me. So I tried to leave, not continue, but my grandfather was like, no, you going back. So I stuck with it all the way up until, you know, I graduated, but I didn't really start long jumping until the 11th grade. Coach Jones, who it was the coach at the time, brought the basketball team out and was looking for a jumper. Now I was doing, you know, the sprints and high jump. So I think at that time you can't have that many individual events. So I wasn't allowed to get in the long jump unless he was about to take me out of either the 1, 2, or the 4. So I gave it, you know, I begged him to ask him to, you know, let me get that opportunity to try. He didn't want me to get try. So I just kept begging. And once I tried, I jumped like around 16 feet and he couldn't believe it. He was like, well, go back and do it again. You know, Coach Jones. So I went back. I went back and did it again and jumped around the same feet. And he was like, yeah, we're going to take you out that 400. And you're going to long jump. I was happy because I hated the 400. That thing hurt.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Don't talk about the 400. Goodness. Okay. Coach Jones, did he play a vital part? Now, I want to know if you'll tell the same story because we talked to Coach Jones. I'm going to ask you if you remember. Coach Jones said you wanted to play basketball. A lot of people don't realize you were good in basketball. So when we was at Perk, I guess you had got an offer from basketball. You told Coach Jones, well, Coach Jones, I don't want the Ole Miss offer. I don't want to go to Ole Miss. I want to play basketball. And he probably said some words to you. And all I know is that you ended up at Ole Miss. Can you talk about how Coach Jones played a pivotal part in your life as far as the track?
Yeah. He's been, you know, for the entire Gupper High, you know, he's been like the track dad of for the track athletes. So every decision that I made along with my mom, Coach Jones was in there. And that's how he was that father figure for me. And I looked up to him also because he knew a lot. I don't know that much. And my mom, she wasn't into sports at the time, far as knowing how to get me to the next level. So like every decision that we made with my mom, Coach Jones was pivotal in that decision. So yeah, that story is absolutely correct because I wanted to take a basketball scholarship because I did have some offers coming out of Perk, but something happened at track practice one time and I called my mom and was crying and talking to her and she talked to Coach Jones and we decided that track was probably the better decision for me to go ahead and just give that a try. And the rest is history.
Yeah, it is history. 16 medals later, 8 gold medals later. Yeah, it is history. And it's awesome. I'm glad you took that route. Who is your favorite sports star?
Right now, it's LeBron. LeBron James. You know, he's so active in his community. He's an overall, just from the outside looking in, for me, he's the overall athlete that you would want your kid to follow. He does everything right. And for me, like he's the best person I can think of right now that I would, without a doubt, pick him.
Man, that's not a bad pick. LeBron is one of my favorite players of all time. But we lost somebody early this year. I'm pretty sure you was one of your favorite athletes. You got the opportunity to meet him while you was in the Olympics. The Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant. I saw the picture you posted up on Instagram. What does Mamba mentality mean to you, Brittney, for the beast? When you go in beast mode before a big track meet, what does Mamba mentality mean for you?
To me, Mamba mentality and beast mode is almost the same thing. When I'm at a big competition, I'm trying to go all in and give everything that I've ever had, the rest of everything that I had in me to go out there and win that meet. everybody knows that I don't like to lose. I'm the worst loser in the sport. I can say that because I'm hard on myself because I expect a lot of myself to go out there and do what I'm supposed to do. So for me, my mentality is going out there and being that beast, being in beast mode, going out and getting everything that I have in me and not backing down to the competition.
Man, that is awesome. That's awesome. I hope all the kids are paying attention. We have, if you're just tuning in, Brittney Reese, 16-time champion for Olympics, 8-time gold medal. So what would you say your biggest achievement in sports?
For me is would be winning the Olympics, you know. In 2008, when it was my first Olympics, and I was still, it was my first year turning professional in 2008. And I was projected to get third. And so in my mindset, I'm like, oh, well, shoot, I'm going to get third. But I went out there and got fifth. Well, it's fourth now because, you know, somebody got caught cheating. But I ended up fourth. And, you know, that hurt. Like, that was, like, I cried the entire way back to the village because I thought that I gave it my all. And I thought I was on that level where I can compete with some of the best athletes out there. So I had made a promise to myself that I'm going to work these next 4 years as hard as I can and try to win the 2012 Olympics. And when I achieved that goal, you know, it was tears of joy. Everything that I put in, I focused on my fitness. I focused on my health. I feel like I did everything that I was supposed to do in order to achieve that goal. So for me, that's one of my biggest accomplishments.
I'll never forget that day when you I was coaching and teaching at the time and at Gulfport High. And when you won the gold medal, Principal Lindsay, he got over the intercom and everybody was like, you could hear everybody in the classroom like, yeah, you could hear it, you know. So the hometown hero bring the gold medal. I mean, I don't think we didn't realize how big of a deal it was, but that definitely was a proud moment in your life and for the whole state of Mississippi. What was the happiest moment in your life?
The happiest moment of my life was probably me signing a professional, like a professional deal, because that gave me the opportunity I can finally take care of my mom. You know, I finally put everything together. I finally made my dream come true, even though my dream at the time when I was younger was to go to the WNBA. But as I got older and learned the long jump a little bit more and was able to sign that contract, I was like, now I can try to find a way to have my mama rest some. Or if she needs anything, I'm able to provide for her. Or not even just her, like just my family in general. That was huge for me. You know, that was one of the happiest days of my life, was be able to get that contract and be able to take care of my family.
Man, that's awesome. I know in 2008 you had to overcome some obstacles as far as achieving your goals. Mm-hmm. What challenges did you come across in getting to where you are today? What are some challenges?
So one of my biggest challenges was I had surgery in 2013, and just overcoming that surgery. I was in a position where in 2014 in track and field, that was an off year. So it gave me some time to rest and to get my body to where it needed to be, which to this day is the lowest I've ever jumped in my career. It was in 2014. But in 2015, I still was not back to where I needed to be to compete on a professional level. And it caused me to mentally go away. I didn't know if I wanted to retire because everything just, I was still having some aches and pains. I wasn't jumping far. And I've always told myself, if I'm in a position where I'm not jumping competitively, then it's just time for me to leave the sport. And I wasn't jumping the way Brittney jumps. And it messed with my mind, my mental. So I ended up getting a life coach, which I still have to this day. And she changed my life for the better in that perspective. But in general, yeah, that was the toughest situation I've ever been in my career, was coming back from an injury and trying to come back and be that top athlete.
That's awesome, Brittany. To like when you got hurt, you have to work out. You have a type of training routine. What
Mhm.
type of workouts and training routines did you do during the time to prepare yourself to get in Brittany Reese form, that gold medal and that championship form? What type of workouts did you do?
So then I was doing a lot of plyometric work, a lot of sprint work, trying to get faster on the runway, which is a key element of the long jump is being fast. So I worked a lot on being fast. I worked a lot on my landing, which was really detrimental to my jumps. Like it was like one of the worst things in my jumping. And once I figured out my landing correctly, it puts me in a position to be better and to break a little bit more records. And then I hit the weight room hard. I did the small things, as in rehabbing before practice and rehabbing after practice. Going to see a chiropractor, going to ice. Going into the ice bath, things like that, to prepare my body for the next day, because I was beating my body up so constantly because I was working so hard that I had to make sure I was taking that time out to recover. So during that time, I think I did all the little things that was necessary to do.
Cool, cool, Britt. Now you accomplished winner. You won gold medals. You've been an All American. You've been a champion at each level: high school, college, not professional. What drives you, Brittany, to come in and train every day?
For me, it's family, and it's also just the love of the sport. Um, I love to compete. I love to jump, and I love my family. And if I wouldn't have those things, I probably would be lost. I just love the sport so much. And going out there, I train with a great group of guys and girls, and they make it fun. I mean, yes, I'm the oldest in the group, but they're younger kids, and I get to see them grow up. And my passion is also just being coachable, learning how to coach. So I've been doing some things on the side, a lot of reading on the body and working on myself, because at the track and field, I feel like my goal, my destiny is to be a coach and is to give back. So um, just having that love of family and just the love of the sports drives me every single day.
You kind of answered my next question. I want to know what are some future goals. It sounds like you said you want to coach,
Yeah.
but it could be more goals. It could be more
Yeah, I
goals.
got a bunch. But yeah, the main one is after my career, which would be I'm announced it, I guess. Next year will be my last year, and I'm going to retire. But after that, I'm going to try to become a coach. I've done a little coaching out here in California at a community college for 3 years. I did that for a little while. I also own a real estate business and working towards some other things, but the main one is to be a coach. I feel like I just said, I feel like I'm destined to give back, and that's my way of giving back. Now I don't know what level. I don't know if I'm gonna stay here in California. I haven't figured all that things out yet, but I know that the next step is to be a coach and to share my knowledge with other people. I don't know if I'm going to go with starting in high school, community college, or how I'm gonna do it, but that's the next step.
Man, Brittany, wherever you go, we pray that you have success, and we know someone will want you on the coaching staff as far as tracking, uh, sharing your expertise with youth. But what we cannot let go is you just gave us some breaking news, and it came to the Boys and Girls Club of the Gulf Coast. You just announced that it's the next Olympics. That's gonna be your last Olympic.
That's it.
So that's a big deal, Brittany. You just gave us some credibility over here for the elements of scholar athlete, Boys and Girls Club Gulf Coast. You just announced that this will be your last ride, man. That's awesome. But, that's good. What is important to you?
My family. I'm a big family person. If you can't tell yet, um, they're everything to me. They're my number one fans, even from when I first got into sports to now, you know, as a professional athlete, they don't get to make as many meets as they can because in track and field we go overseas a lot. But I do get the opportunity to bring my mom to the Olympics and let her experience the same things that I'm experiencing. But growing up, my mom and my grandfather, my sisters, they just jump in the car. If the meets were close, I think the furthest meet they ever been to was in Kentucky, and that was like a 6 to 8 hour drive. And if that ain't dedication, then I don't know what is. But they got in the car and drove to my track meets, and you know, I owe them a tons because you know I just love to have that type of support, and so they mean the world to me. So that's the most important thing to me right now. It's my family.
Man, I remember when we was on the same track team in Gulfport. Your folks were there. They it's not a track meet they wasn't attending.
Exactly.
I mean, they were in the place. They were in the place, and it's good to have support from your family. And family is important to you, and that's awesome. What would you choose to do if you wasn't a track athlete? What would you do if you could pick another career? What would Brittney Reese do?
Outside of sports, you know, it's fun. It's funny because I kind of said I would probably be in like into cars. Like I would like a mechanic or something, like because my love for cars is really deep, and it's kind of deep in my family too. Like I have a lot of family members that not only are they mechanics, but they know how to fix your ride up. So and that's something that I took back from the South, is fixing my ride up. So it'd probably be somewhere in that, like a mechanic or something like that, something weird.
What are your strengths, both as an athlete and as a person? What are your strengths?
For me, as an athlete, is that I'm coachable. Um, I'm the type of athlete that I actually put, to this day still, the student for the athlete, because I'm a student of my sport. I watch film. I'm like a film junkie. It might seem like I'm like on a basketball, football team, but I'm a film junkie. I love to watch film on myself. I watch film on my competitors. I know what my competitors' weaknesses are, and I know what their strengths are. And so I go into every competition knowing exactly what I need to do. And in life, I think my strongest, I'm a good listener. Um, you can tell me something, I won't tell the secret, you know, but I listen well. I hear you. If it may look like I'm not listening, but I'm listening, and I take well to the stuff like that. And that's how I like to surprise people too. They don't think I'm listening, but I go find a gift and get them because I was listening.
Okay. Okay. What are your favorite healthy meals, and your favorite cheat meals?
Healthy. Let's see. I love salads. Um, I can eat. One of my favorites is a cucumber and tomato salad with some Italian dressing and things like that. Something simple like that. Um, Cheat meals. I'm still got that Southern girl in me. It's catfish, possibly fried catfish. So that's probably one of my cheat meals.
Fried hard, huh?
Fried hard.
Yeah. Yeah. What character traits do you find are important to have as an athlete?
um, you have to be able to. Again, I think the most important would be being coachable, because you have to be able to adapt to what your coach is telling you to do. If your coach he's demonstrating something to you, and you can't go back and do what he asks, it might take some people longer, but for me it's like that. But you have to be able to adapt to what your coach is telling you, and be able to listen to what your coach is saying to be able to be more successful. If you're hearing him but you're not performing that, then it's not going to be on the, it's not going to work between you two. And you have to have a coach that's willing to listen, and coach is also willing to learn his own self. And once you have that good tight grip with you and your coach, then it's nothing to it.
Okay, Brittney, you've traveled all over the world. What was your favorite place you visited while competing?
Uh, my favorite place possibly would be Berlin, Germany. It's where I won my first medal, and for me, it's just I go there almost every year, and it's so beautiful out there, and the people are nice. So, um, yeah, probably Berlin, Germany is one of my favorite spots.
Okay. What best advice you have given from a mentor? What was the best advice you have been given from a mentor? That's what I meant to say.
That somebody gave me.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I forgot a lot of advice. Um, I'd probably say my mom. She always tells me this. Michael Jordan missed a lot of shots, so why do you think you going to be perfect? Because I have, like I told you earlier, I have a thing where perfection is really big for me. And there was a meet where I was several meets, but there was one specific meet that I lost, and I was real devastated about it. And I talked to my mom, and she said, "Well, even Michael Jordan has a bad day, so why do you think you're going to be perfect?" And from then on, I was like, you know what? You're right. Everybody has a bad day. It's just how you come out of it, how you handle yourself after that type of situation. Are you going to succeed about it, or are you just going to sit back and mope and cry about it? So that's probably one of my best advices I got.
Okay. So I want to shift the conversation. We talked about your athletic goals and a lot of things that can help the youth about athletics. Now let's go to the most important thing about the athlete is they're being a student. I mean, for education, how important are grades in education?
How important is education?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, it's really important. I've just received my master's last year, and just having a great education can set you up for a lot of great things in life. Um, Whether you're an athlete or not, it can put you in positions that having a degree or not having that education can't put you. So I know everybody's going through, all the kids and things are going through a tough time with everything is online, but still being serious about your work, still putting in that work that you're supposed to do, like whether you're in class or behind a computer, is really important. And you should invest the same amount of time that you would in school to the computer and getting your work done. So for me, like, I think that right now it's really super important right now.
Very important. Okay, I have a hot question. My
Okay.
CEO is just text me. Okay, she wants to know about the cross cultural experiences you have while going while you've been an athlete.
Oh man, I've experienced some things. Okay, so I just got back from Qatar, Doha, Qatar, and over there, I think it's now different, but I've been there about 4 or 5 times. I think over there, when my first time there, their women aren't allowed to do a lot of things.
Wow.
And so and then you have to be fully clothed, and remind you, like, this place is hot. Like, it's like 100 degrees over there, and it's like so humid. Like, you just step outside and you're sweating. And so everybody has to be fully clothed. And so they kind of like basically tell us that, in track, we're a little less clothed. Some of the women like to wear, their bra tops and stuff. And they ask you not to go outside of that because we know how they are. But that was the first time I ever went to a track meet. And I think I saw maybe like 5 women in the stands. Like,
What?
Yeah, women over there aren't allowed to do a lot of things. Men are more in control, and I was shocked. I'm not even gonna lie. I was completely shocked. It was a bunch of men at a track competition, but that's just how they are. And it's, I mean, I've seen a lot of culture, but that one's the only one that like kind of really like shocked me the most.
That's definitely a
It's a
culture
nice place
shock.
to go though, but it's a real big culture shock for sure.
So how did it affect your worldviews? How did that do that? Like that's a
Um,
culture shock.
that is, I was pretty sad. I think it's different now. But man, it was a complete shock. It's just it's sad, and it was just a sad situation just to see how, they don't really got control of much of what they do, that their husbands or the men are in control. And I almost got into a situation with one of the guys at the hotel because we come in, so their time difference is so crazy. Like when you fly in, you basically kind of get there like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning their time. And so we get in, everybody's jet lagged and tired. And one of the men like grabbed my arm and was like, sit down. And I had almost forgot where I was at. And I was like, just, you don't have to grab me like that. Just, but I'm not about to sit down because I'm ready to go to my room. But it was something else. But I mean, the place is really beautiful. Like I said, again, I think that it's different now, but that was the only time where I almost was like, yeah, I'm not really too much feeling this place like that.
Man, Brittney, I don't know. I don't know.
I almost lost it. I had to
you-
remember where it was at because
you definitely show patience. You definitely show
Yeah, I
patience
had
because I don't
to.
know, man.
Grandma,
But
pretty.
yeah, that was crazy. Before I ask you this next question,
Okay.
this is from my CEO, Miss Kiva Scott.
Okay.
When you're done, when you retire, we're gonna
Mhm.
throw the retirement party. That's just to make that clear. We
Okay.
throwing the retirement party, Boys and Girls Club of Gulf Coast. We're gonna throw the retirement party for you and invite the whole coast and come and enjoy and celebrate your career, which has been awesome. I really don't realize that I have a Olympic champion in my phone that I can just call anytime. And I text you something. I know I text you one time. I forgot that you in Cali. It was like super early in the morning. I said, I forgot she's on Pacific. She's on Pacific time, man. Dang,
People
man, I'm
always
tripping.
forget I'm not down
Look,
there.
yeah, I'm tripping, man. I should have waited till 12 my time. I know she'll be up and moving, but yeah, it's just definitely good to have you. Let me ask you this quick question: how did you distinguish yourself as a scholar athlete and not just this kid that plays sports? How did you do that?
Man, I guess I would say by just working hard on and off the track. I did things outside of the track in the community. I did a lot of things with the church. Just I didn't want to be just an athlete, And my mama always wanted me to get my degree, so I'm always the type of person to want to please my mom, so I'm doing the things that she's asked of me, and getting the degree was one of the main things that she wanted. Other than that, I think that's the main thing. What I did, I just did some things outside of track. Made sure I went to class. Made sure I did my work. Like I just said, after I graduated from Ole Miss, I said I wasn't going back to school. And look at here, next year I got my master. Like the following couple of years later, I got my master's. But like I said, because earlier, like I said, that education is big, it's important, and it can put you in some positions that you don't think that you can be in. For me, getting my master's, if I choose to become an athletic director, I have that background, the MBA in business to be an athletic director if I choose to go that route. So I'm just setting myself up for the future, basically.
Man, that is perfect. I love every minute of it. And I don't think you would have been able to leave Oxford because your papa and your mom was not gonna let you leave Oxford without coming home.
No, I wasn't leaving without no. And I actually turned professional early too, so I stayed there until I got my degree.
Yes, indeed. That's awesome. I'm glad, and congratulations on your master's as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's great. Did you ever think you was gonna go to the Olympics?
I've always thought it would be basketball. Like my whole mindset growing up was basketball only. Like I never accounted for me to do anything track related. like I said earlier, like the first practice, I was ready to quit. And I didn't like the run. I still don't like the run, but I know I got to do it. But no, I didn't think it would be track and field. I really thought I was going to be somewhere in somebody's WNBA and seeing my future take off in that sport.
I think I'm with you on like the running part, and I think I know who kind of made us be like, man, I don't feel like doing this, but I'm gonna do it because I'm coachable.
Yeah.
And I understand I need to help my team. Is Coach Jones, man? He used to have us running out there, and you'd be like, Coach, man, really? You ain't nothing. You ain't doing nothing.
Get on the line.
Oh man. Oh man. But it was
Out by
beautiful.
the water fountain.
Oh man. But it was just great experience that he pushed us to the limit.
He
and
did.
And then it worked out great for you. And I don't think when everybody was on the track team with you, we didn't realize what we was witnessing. I really didn't. I didn't realize until you got recognized as the Gatorade Player of the Year, and I was like, man, I really didn't understand how big of a deal it was.
I was just telling my mama that. I was telling her how back home that we didn't know now that I'm a professional athlete and know all the things that I could have accomplished in high school, I didn't know nothing about no Gatorade. I still when I had one, I was like, what is that? I didn't know it was how big of a deal it was growing up. And I didn't know till later on too that I was the #1 long jumper in the nation in 12th grade. Like I didn't even know none of it because my focus wasn't on track and field like that. I just really cared about basketball. But Coach Jones, him pushing me he was another reason why I ended up at Ole Miss also too, because because I signed with Ole Miss in high school, but ended up going to Perk to play basketball. So after the whole thing with Perk, that's when I decided we all decided that track was the best place for me to go and just focus on myself more. But yeah, growing up in Gulfport, I did not know half of the stuff that I know now. And one of my goals is for back home is to find out a way to get those kids in those situations, because there's world junior teams that these kids can make. There's a bunch of Hershey track clubs, like different track clubs. And one of my main goals, I forgot to tell you earlier, was to try to bring a track club to the Gulf Coast.
Don't tell them too much. Don't tell them too much, because we're going to work together now. Don't tell them too much now.
I ain't going to tell them too much.
We got to keep it on the route.
But just look forward to, if you're watching this from the Gulf Coast, look forward to being for a Gulf Coast track club. That's just me trying to figure out ways to get these kids in better positions for scholarships. Like my son out here, he's on a track team, and I know how to run it now. So I've been paying attention. And so if you're on the Gulf Coast, look for a track club coming in the next couple of years.
That's awesome, Brittney. So what was it like? What was it like when you won the gold medal, and what were you thinking?
Man, it was one of the best days of my life. Again, because I said that I worked so hard to get to that point. But when I won my first one, I couldn't believe it. I was like, ooh, I won my first one. So once I won my first one, the next one came, and the next one came. And I just kept pushing myself to the limit, to where I knew I was unstoppable. I knew nobody could beat me if I was to do everything that I knew I could do. If I was keep staying on track with seeing a therapist and things like that, I knew that I couldn't be stopped. I still feel that way now. I still feel like, yeah, I lost last year. That was a fluke. But yeah, I knew that. I still know to this day that I'm tough to beat, and I always like to have that mentality.
Now, you said something real powerful. You said you had a life coach, and a therapist, right? Mm-hmm. I know that 2008 was devastating because you just didn't accomplish your goal. Do you really believe that the therapist helped you cope through it and help you heal? Because a lot of athletes, it's some games that I play college football. It's some games that I'm just not gonna ever get over.
Yeah.
But I want to know, how does that work for you? for your mental health? Because we know a lot of things happen. A lot of people go through mental things. How does that help your mentality? How does it keep you sane?
Yeah. So for me, well, for the sport period, people don't understand how your mental plays a huge part in your success. You have to be mentally strong in this sport, and I'm pretty sure any sport, basically. But in my sport, you have to be, because you're going to take some L's. You're going to take a bunch of L's, and there's some times where people, you put your life on. You work so hard, and 3 people can only make an Olympic team. And just think, if you work so hard, a lot, and our sport is not like football or basketball. We don't make millions of dollars unless you like vote for somebody. So if you go out there, and a lot of people in our sport also have jobs. So if you go out there and you're working and you're training, and you don't make that spot, and you don't get that top 3, and you work for 4 years for it and it doesn't happen, or you work for 2 years and you just can't make a team, it will mess you up. But for me, it just keeps me strong, because I talk to her probably like twice, 2 or 3 times a week, and we go over some things. We go over competitions. We go over how I'm going into the competition, how I'm coming out of that competition, just setting a whole plan on how I should be feeling. If I'm feeling bad, she's on speed dial. She doesn't live too far from my house, but having her in my life and keeping me sane going in, I go into every competition. I'm gonna be a little nervous, but I already know like how to handle my nervousness going into those competitions. And we do a lot of things, that a lot of talking to get over a lot of fears and things like that. So I always tell people that it's kind of getting a life coach or getting a psychologist is frowned upon. But for me, it's been the best decision I ever made in my career was getting a life coach, getting somebody to talk to after every competition, before every competition, just having her there. And she comes to some of my meets. So having her there, or having that person to talk to when you can't talk to like a family member, because a family member going to be like, oh, it's okay. But having somebody that's direct with you and giving you what you need to hear, telling you what you need to hear, is real important in sports. And people need to take to that and start talking to more people.
Man, Brittney, you just dropped some nuggets for us, man. That's real huge, because even right now with our kids, they're at home. They can't see their friends. They can't really go out, because the COVID-19 is kind of it's crazy. It just kind of put us in a box. That's honestly what it has done. And we really need to talk to our kids. I know you mentioned you have a son. We should talk to our kids and see how they feel about it, because mental health is a big deal, and you just showed how I deal with sports and everyday life. Everything goes hand to hand. So I think you just motivated more people to talk to someone that can help you get through your everyday life, because you cannot do it by yourself. It's impossible.
I tried.
And when you try to do it by yourself, even when I played sports, I had hurt my knee. Just sharing. I'm not trying to make it about me, but I hurt my knee, and I really was I wasn't in an okay place, man, because there was some offers I had. I had a lot of Division I offers or whatever when I was at Perk, and then all the coaches kind of pulled back, and then it kind of my mental level. It was just like, man, I'm not going to play football no more. Thank God I had my parents molded me to be, hey, football can be taken away from you, and I had got my degree. Right. Thank God for that, but mental part is real huge, and if you have to talk to somebody, a therapist, do it, guys. I'm talking to all our kids. We love you guys. We want to make sure y'all get help, and if you're afraid, find someone to talk to.
I had to go out and find somebody that didn't know me, and really didn't know me, and didn't even kind of really know the sport like that. She didn't know nothing about track and field. Her first track and field meet was one of mine, so she didn't know how things flow. So that kind of helped, because she don't know me from a can of paint. So whatever she tells me, I'm going to listen, and vice versa. So it worked out for the better.
That's good, Brittany. I'm glad you got help. What was your first thought when you heard the Summer Olympics were postponed due to the COVID-19? What was your thoughts? I know you was disappointed. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I was low key disappointed because I felt the direction that I was going right now. I was in the best shape of my career. Right, I was jumping in practices. I was jumping constantly 7 meters, which is for my event, 7 meters is where you want to be. But I'm jumping this in practice constantly every week, and I was getting stronger. My weight was well, and then this comes, and it hurts because you put all that time and that effort the last 3 years to prepare your body and to get to this point, and then it's just like it's stripped away. Like, nope, you got to wait a whole another year. But on the positive ends of it, there were still some things that I needed to work on. And this gives me that opportunity to have more time to work on those things that I felt I needed was one of my biggest weaknesses. Now, I said that next year is my last year. So this is also a time for me to go. One of our quotes out here is last one, best one. So this is my opportunity to get that last Olympic, that last track meet. It might not be the last. I might have to end the season, but my last Olympics or my last professional big meet to go out and give it everything that I have. And possibly one of my main goals is to break the world record. I felt like I was on that pace. So this gives me that time to work on those small things that I felt that can still stop me from breaking the world's record. So I'm going to continue to take the positives out of this situation and just say, you get more time to get to that main goal.
We're not gonna say we're gonna try to break the world record. We're gonna say we're gonna break it because we're gonna put that energy out here in the world and let them know the beast is gonna break that record, and I really believe you will. Since we locked up, we quarantined. What has kept you motivated to stay fit and focused until everything is lifted?
Yeah, so what I've been doing is I bought a lot of things that I can put in my garage, and so every day at 3. Me and my son goes out in the garage and we work out. So we trying to stay fit. I ride the bike. We lift weights. We do all types of things downstairs in the garage to try to stay fit. Can't even go to parks anymore. We were going to the parks. Now we can't go to the parks. So the best thing, we just got my yard in the garage as of right now. But it's not too bad. I can still get some things done. It's a little hill over here that we go run also. So we're trying to stay fit because he runs track too. So we're just trying to stay fit and do what we got to do in this time.
Okay, how old is your son, Brittney?
He's 12.
Oh, he's the same age as my daughter. Okay, cool. Okay, that's real cool. So today we covered a lot of things. What is your main message to kids that's watching today?
I would say continue to follow your dreams. Don't give up. You're going to have some bumps in the road, you're going to have some hardships, you're going to have times where you want to give up, but those are not the times to give up. Those are the times where you find a way to get better and move on to reach your goals. So with that, keep pushing, keep going, don't stop.
Oh, that's awesome. Somebody called me. I'm sorry, I had to decline them real quick. All right, I have a 12-year-old daughter. Her name is Ariana. She's aware that you're Olympic champion. She took a picture with you a couple of times. This is a big deal for me because I'm a dad's girl. As they say. For your girl, for all the girls that's watching, what were some things that you had to overcome as a female athlete?
Oof. So right now, as a female athlete, let's see. Just because you're not in this sport, women, if you're not, I'll just put it this way. If you're the men get all the attention. I'll put it that way. Mm-hmm. Every competition is not going to be, you're not going to be the center. So you have to learn how to be within yourself in this sport. You have to learn to focus on yourself because you're not going to be it's not worldwide. You're not going to be looked at because my jumps don't matter. Like for I'll just say for pay too. One of my hard things is I have all these medals, but I'm the least paid because, of course, nobody watches the women's long jump. And so those are like kind of one of the hardest things I have to overcome is just the men are going to always be higher than the women, but that doesn't stop me from loving the sport and still trying to thrive in the sport. I have my own accomplishments and I have my own goals, and focusing on pay instead of the love of the sport is something that I will never do. So, but the hardest thing for me is just understanding that the men dominate the sport.
Yeah, it is kind of unfortunate because you know, that's just the pay scale is the biggest difference.
Mm-hmm.
You guys perform at a high level just like the male athletes, but the pay scale over the years it's gotten better. I will say that because
yeah, it's gotten better. It's gotten better. It's just how it is that they because I think it's more so because men watch. There are more men watching sports than there are women. And for track and field, everybody wants to see who's the fastest male. Sometimes, you know, they want to see who's the fastest woman too, but for the majority of the time, it's the men and what male can jump the furthest. But like I said, if I'm in the sport, I'm not in the sport for the money. I'm in the sport because I love it.
good. I know you mentioned something about sponsors. Who you are you sponsored by anyone?
Yeah,
Nike. I thought so. I thought so. All right, we're gonna play a quick game called Rapid Fire. I'm gonna ask you 3 questions and you just tell me quick answer. All right. All right. Who's your biggest motivator?
Mom.
What is your hidden talent?
I can draw.
Oh, I didn't know that. One thing you don't like about yourself.
My feet.
All that jumping on you don't beat up on your feet. All that landing hard on your feet.
All that work.
Track shoes, and you know the track. This is one thing I used to hate about track too. When you put them track shoes on and it's hot out there on that, oh God,
man,
help me.
I'm telling you, I done been in some hot spots.
Man, yeah. Okay, now we're gonna play another game called This or That.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna just say, all right, summer or winter?
Summer.
Drive or fly?
Drive.
Meat or vegetables?
Meat.
Mac or PC?
Mac.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Passenger or driver?
Driver.
I know this answer. Sweet tea or Coke?
You know it's sweet tea.
You from the South. I already know what you're gonna say. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Mountains or beach?
Mountains.
Man, you surprised me with that. We from the beautiful Gulf Coast. We got the the beach.
Honestly,
man.
I do not like water. I don't like the beach. I don't. I've never did it.
What about like in Florida and you've been all over the world now? I know
I'm telling you, I've been to Miami, I've been to Puerto Rico, I've been to Guadeloupe. I am not a fan of beach because I do not, again, we just talked about feet. I don't like feet. I don't like stuff touching my feet.
Okay. Wait, do you realize you was raised in Gulfport? We done had beach all your life.
I do.
You said mountains.
And people say the same thing when they say, I tell them I can't swim because I don't like water.
The best jumper in the world
does not
cannot get. Oh man,
was raised right by the water and do not like it.
Have you ever trained in water? Like, you know how we do the swimming pool workout?
We do workouts in the pools out here. And
so you just the whole time.
They laugh at me.
I was about to say, I want to be a fly on the wall and just looking at you training in the water and just look at your face.
I'm wrapped up with my hair all wrapped up. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh man, okay. That's funny. That's funny. So you like the city or the country?
Country.
Okay. Sweet or salty?
sweet.
That's okay. That's cool. So if any of the kids want to reach you, how can they? Can you give them your Twitter handle and your
Yeah.
IG profile so they can follow
Yeah.
you? I know you'd be more than welcome. I mean, more than glad to answer any question if they DM
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you can if you want. My email is breesejumps@yahoo.com. My Twitter and my Instagram is the same, the LJ Beast, DALJ Beast. I'm on TikTok, breesejumps.
Uh-oh. What you
I don't do no dancing because I can't dance neither. That ain't
Well, my daughter be having me, she be trying to put, I said, do not post me on no TikTok. I don't know. I just do it with you at home. I'm
yeah,
not
but
getting
don't
on
post
there.
now.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
kids.
any questions, I always answer questions on.
Okay.
So if they got anything, I'm here for you.
Man, I sure appreciate. I greatly appreciate you,
No
Brittney, for
problem.
just giving us your time. I know you about to get ready to train in a few hours,
Yeah.
but kids, I hope everything helped you. I hope this keeps you encouraged. It's a difficult time for our country, but you are not alone. We're gonna keep on pushing through this together. Be sure to follow the Boys and Girls Club on Facebook and tune in next Thursday, April 30th. We have another live stream of Smart Girls. See you again, guys.